Yo, Farmer Dre back at it. Folks, in today's video, we're gonna show you guys how we make our farm fresh apple cider here on our farm. Let's go ahead and get into the video. Today, it is gonna be an awesome day, a very sweet and juicy day. We're out here in the warehouse right now. Isaac, he already put the bin of apples on the conveyor belt here. This is an old school vegetable washer, a 2 TEW vegetable washer built like in the 1980s. This machine was here when we purchased the orchard back in 2013. We currently got a bin dump here, so we got a full bin, a 20 bushel bin of apples on there. Spill them over, they fall in here, and we wash them. Isaac will, I grade them up, clean them up, push them through. They go all the way down through the chute into our cider room. That's where myself and John are gonna be. That's where we crush them, press them, and get rid of the remains. So it's gonna be a fun day. We currently have Sam out here, Jet, and then John will be with me in the room there. So this year on our farm, unfortunately, we did lose 50% of our apple crop due to frost. Then whenever we did open up for U-pick, our entire orchard got wiped out pretty quick. So these apples are actually grown in central Missouri, out by the Missouri River, so about 2 hours north of here. So they are still Missouri apples, they are just not grown on our farm, which those folks up there grow the same varieties as us, so the apples are the same. But the varieties we are pressing today, it is towards the end of the season, so we are pressing Fuji. The cider will be sweet. We generally like to have a sweet and a tart apple, but this is all they had left in the coolers was Fuji. Earlier in the season, the apples do tend to get softer, and if the apples get soft and mushy, then it gives us a hard time in a cider press, in their cider room. Our old rack and cloth system that we have, the apples tend to move and the cloths move, so it gives a problem. So we like nice, firm, crisp apples when we press cider, so the apples stay intact. But anyways, this is the whole setup back here, and of course the apples come down the chute all the way into the cider room. So we're gonna go ahead and get started here. I'm gonna leave the camera with Isaac here for a couple minutes. He's gonna talk about what he does out here in the warehouse. I'm gonna get suited up, get my apron on, my gloves, and jump in the cider room and start pressing.
Once I get done, push them through the machine. They come through here, and then Jet does also a second grade of all the ones that are, you know, bad, have that mold in them. You know, if that goes inside the apple cider, it has a really weird flavor if there's too much of it. So we try to get that all out of here. So Jet comes in here and he grades at least as much as he can. You know, this machine, like Dre was saying, it's a apple grader, so these are like a small, bigger, so we had to zip tie them for the apples not to fall through, but you know, they still fall through some of the holes where the zip ties broke, but that's not too big of an issue. So they after they come through here, mostly all graded. Sam uses this broom to push them all down, push it into the conveyor belt. So yeah, it's quite the system here. And we've been using this system and this apple washer machine for 11 years when it comes to making apple cider. So it's the best way to do it. You know, it cleans the apples. We're able to grade them before we've been making them juice. So it's a pretty good process. We've been doing it for a long time. Like I said, how some fall through, we just put a box there and then Jet just dumps them. So for the ones that do fall through, it's not too big of an issue. You just set the box back down there, and all the apples, they come over this first section pretty easy. So once we got that bin loaded with the forklift, we come here to this machine, this hydraulic pump. Raise it up. And it just dumps the whole bin. Then we just do the process all over again with the next bin. So out here in the cider room, I'm gonna show you once the apples come in here. So there's a grinder in here that grinds up the apple.
Alrighty, so this is the leftovers from the cider here. It's extremely pressed. 2,000 pound press here. Press it down so it's super dry. There's no moisture here. So what we do is we have friends who have cattle and we feed this to their cattle. It's like an extra dessert for the cows. Super delicious, super good. But it has no sugar or liquidness. It's just dry. It's like silage almost without all the moisture inside. cider is pressed. We put it in this tank here, it sits in here, and it's waiting on our pasteurizer. This is a UV pasteurizer, meaning it pasteurizes the cider through a UV light at the temperature it is out of the cooler. So right now the cider is about 40 degrees out of the cooler. That's what we keep the apples on them. They don't warm up much from the time they get on the washer to the cider press itself. So it is pasteurizing the cider at 100 gallons per minute at 40 degrees. So this we're able to keep the cider complexity intact without having to boil it and changing the structure of the cider. So this is the closest cider formation that you can sell to be comparable to raw cider. So when we first started selling cider back in the day, we used to sell it raw, meaning unpasteurized, just press it, take it, and bottle it. But now we are pasteurizing, so it's the closest we can get it to the raw form, and our customers absolutely love it. It still tastes the same. It is awesome, delicious, but it's UV pasteurized. The only benefit to this, you get about 2 to 3 weeks longer shelf life on the cider than it is when it's not pasteurized. So it still needs to be refrigerated, and it also needs to be kept in a cold after you open them, well, at all times. So it has to be kept cold after you press it into the tank. When it's in bottles, keep it cold. When you take it home, to keep it cold as well. So right now, we're, like I said, doing 100 gallons a minute, and we're just putting it in our 350 gallon storage tank. And from there, we're gonna go ahead and bottle it later and put it in our cooler for our customers. We also use this in our slushies and the hot ciders and all the good stuff in here. So all the cider we do press is sold here on our farm. So the thing about making cider, it's the same thing over and over again. So you guys saw, we got one press done, we press it. It's the same process over and over again. Out of a 20 bushel bins, it's about 4 presses. So we're able to press 5 to 6 bushels per press. That equivalent, so we get about 3 gallons per bushel. So if you did 6 gallons times 2, that's 18 gallons per press. So it's the exact same process over and over again. It's kind of like a factory job, right? You just sit there and just repeat the same thing over and over again. Kind of boring, but it goes quick. Today we're only pressing 2 bins, so 8 presses, and we'll be done pressing completely. And we're hoping to get about 160 gallons of cider, 160, 180, depending on the size of the apples and how dense they are and how juicy they are. Sometimes we might get 100 gallons out of a 20 bushel bin. Sometimes we only get, 40 gallons. So it just depends on the apple variety that you are using. These Fuji's have been super juicy, and it is super sweet and delicious. But like I said, it's the same process over and over again. It doesn't ever change, but it's just cool just to see it. Alrighty folks, that is our last press right there. We are done pressing cider for the day. Now this is where the fun begins. We have to first wait until this tank here is completely empty. Then we gotta sanitize the pasteurizer, and then of course clean everything out, all the stickiness, all the apple mesh, all the apple splattered on the wall. Everything has to be clean and ready to go for next time. And every time we do that, at the end we sanitize everything, make sure that everything's clean and ready to roll. So this is the part that takes kind of the longest. I mean, the pressing itself takes a while, but then the sanitation and the cleaning is a tedious job to make sure you get every little crevice, every little piece of machinery, every part that can and has apple on it to make sure it's nice and clean. So in my mind, it's the most boring part, but it's the most essential part as well. And we'll figure it out. But yeah, after 11 years of making cider, it's kind of, you know, start from the end there and just work your way through. Open up the grinder, clean it up, sanitize it, finish cleaning the cloths here, and it's just a process. So gotta get her done. Alrighty y'all, so about an hour later, the cider room is completely cleaned here. Everything is spick and span, clean as can be, ready to go for next time. The pasteurizer just got done cleaning through its wash here, so the water just goes into there, comes out the smaller hose, pasteurized. So it does 100 gallons per minute here. Works out really good. Got it on a wash setting, so everything is cleaned and ready to go. And this is where we're gonna go ahead and end off the video for today. Just a quick little video of us showing you guys the process of our apple cider. If you guys did enjoy the video, go ahead and leave a smash, hit that smash button, that like button, smash that like button. Go ahead and leave a comment to see what other videos you guys would like to see on our farm here. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button. So I want to appreciate everyone for watching up to this point. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and smile today. It's a beautiful day, even though it's raining on the farm. I want you guys to be happy and smiling. So you guys stay tuned for next video, and we'll see you next time.